What's up, guys? So the crazy fisha, of course, day 4 came around, went ahead and grabbed that, and of course we've got Soul Rush going on, so we're gonna go ahead and basically we're just gonna work on that, bringing this up, bringing that pal crit damage up, and then once we get to 30 we'll shift focus, and we will hear very shortly. So in the cross rankings, we're at 4,200. So we're going to go ahead and buy our soul selection tube. And then go to fusion. And we will go to the excellent companion. And we will go ahead and add. And then in order to make the companion, you just need to have basically the 2 souls, which in this case is the red pal damage, which is not pal crit, it's not this, it's this one, pal damage. Okay, and then you throw this on and that on, and you confirm, and like that, you get your soul. Now, of course, if you don't like the result, so like this is mythic, I'm not a big fan of mythic, so we'll go ahead and confirm. It'll re-roll it, so like there's counter damage. I'm going to retain it because I don't like that particular result. And then we will once again go ahead and add and re-roll it again. And so like this one's 1.5%, still not as good as the 3%, so we'll go ahead and retain it. And so basically now all we got to do is basically pop on this one, and now we have a pal damage soul as well as our pal crit soul. But as of today, I'm finally finished doing fusions. So at this point now, it's just a matter of doing the global souls and re-ranking and readjusting souls as needed. So like, for example, I can spend 500 gems here and re-upgrade this one, for example, just to kind of show you, what you can tweak. Now, I will say that on the pals in particular, okay, you can kind of see how this is playing out. I have both combo and crit 50-50 and the evasion up to 44% with this particular lineup. As for the actual pal damage itself, currently doing 1581 now, and we can continuously increase that, right, to kind of bring it up. But, to kind of give you an idea of like, well, what exactly does that entail? You can see I'm in Revelation 3.8, so it's not, I'm not tanky by any means right now. But we can go ahead and collect that. We'll go ahead and get the end for our Soul Rush here. Now, in order to really see any of the benefit, we've got to be in the top 20, and we're not even close. We've got a ways to go still. Now, given that I've got 756,000 gems, it really probably won't be that big of a deal to acquire. And there's lots of other angles that I could go about this. Like, say, for example, maybe I want more of the premium seeds, for example. I can go that path with it. There's lots of different selections, right? As far as the event packs themselves, I think that those have been really nice. And then, of course, in Fishing Joy, if you go through here, you can basically run some rolls and stuff. But if anything, guys, the main thing is coming up here on I believe on the 20th is when we'll actually see some more content coming. And then from there, we'll really kind of be able to kind of experiment and kind of go a little bit overkill on some of the stuff that I've been talking about with you. So that said, really about the only thing I want to do now is let's just go ahead and run rolls. That's something else that will be kind of nice in the next update, is that we'll actually be able to see what the % chance of certain avians are going to be. So like if I pair, say, for example, Whirlwind Leaf, for example, and I go grab one of my avians and say maybe I pair that up with, I don't know, Dense Cloud, for example, right? I don't know what the odds are going to be when I throw those two together. But, by combining them, you're kind of opening yourself up to the possibility of different potential, that I think is kind of the cool part. Now, I don't know whether or not, you know, it's of any value really to anybody right now, but like one of the things that I've got is a mutated, and that's just from sitting there and doing mutations like over and over and over on the same, you know, so going after one of the mutated. That's the trick, is finding somebody that has a mutation. And then once you actually do find someone with that mutation, then it's just a question of, you know, how many times can you possibly run the same. You know, so like now that I have a mutation, I'll probably go ahead and rerun it a couple of times and see what we can grab. But like here, let's go ahead and take Pinky and let's move maybe like a, I don't know, let's try like a Moonbound Spirit, for example, and see what we get. But anyway, running those rotations and such, you can kind of do that. And then if you ever want to speed that up, something you can do is just go into Parking Wars, go to Shop, and then from within here, you can grab a Breeding Rare card, which will cut down the amount of time. I always like to grab the Dark Trials card, though. That's just like a given. But I'll go ahead and grab it just to kind of show you. Of course, the one thing you always want to make sure you're doing is grabbing your decorations. That's going to give you a lot of core stats, which, you know, it's kind of a given. That's really where a lot of your points and scores are coming from. Obviously, doing your individual event items and stuff, that like I go out of my way to basically try and get as much crops as I can as frequently as I can. And we'll just go ahead and do that real quick. And now I don't know, we'll see if I say, like, I could have probably just used a 30-minute there, but that's okay. It's a little wasteful, but that's fine. And of course we got dormitory, and always making sure we've got the dormitory running, because that's where you're going to get a lot of excess gold. And of course the mine too, we'll make sure we do that. But if anything, the other thing too we got to grab is our draws. Of course, I believe skill draw is coming up, as well as pal draw. It's not far along the way. So if we take a look here, we can see real quickly, yeah, pal rush will be tomorrow, so we'll run some pals and see what we get. But if anything, guys, you know, of course, the PAL design contest is still going on, so make sure you know, if you are creative and you like drawing, maybe a good opportunity to jump in on that and see what it's like. But yeah, if I just do some random challenges, being that I've got 50-50 on those, I mean, the one thing that kind of takes me aback is just how weird it works. Mind you, that, you know, it doesn't like... Oh my goodness. It's by no means a full-blown method, right? As you can tell. It's... I've had people ask me, like, is it, like, overpowered? It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I've done exceedingly well against, like, different types of players and different types of builds, and it's just weird. Like, I think if you make yourself really tanky and have really high defense, and invest, like, all your stats into that, as well as your PAL damage and PAL combo and PAL crit, like, you get some pretty wacky stuff. Sorry. Sorry about that. I'm freaking coughing a lot. My goodness. But, I mean, you know, and just with, like, a little bit of tweaking there, you know, and I'm only at 50k power. It's really not too bad. Now, as far as talents go, I'm going down this route to get the PAL combo up 30%. That, so far, has been a lot more advantageous than, say, like, Crimson Spirit has been. Because, partly... you know, where I find a lot of that coming helpful is PAL healing, and then I imagine at some point I'll probably try adjusting wound, but I've been working on PAL attack speed, and then I'll probably work on PAL damage, you know, and it's just, the rest of it, as far as gear goes, is kind of a combination of PAL combo and PAL crit. I've been trying to get more desirable second stats with it, you know, like sometimes I get PAL combo and PAL crit, which that's like best, but you know, beggars can't be choosers either with the type of items that you get. But this is the current build that I've been running. As far as like the pals and the skills go, this is the skill rotation I'm using, and here are the pals that I'm using. And it's working fine. Now, I mean, you may be wondering, like, why these pals? I don't know. I'm still tweaking them. This is just what happens to be working for me at this very moment. I'm sure I'll probably make more adjustments as I go along, but you know, more importantly, I'm working on basically the crystal statue, I'm working on the blessed dew, trying to get these all up to 80, and I'm using the priest mask for the set. As far as my individual enchantments go, I'm still trying to get to where I can eventually start using a global PAL damage increase. I just haven't gotten there yet. But there's at least another 10% there that I can get. I just haven't gotten there yet. There's a lot of micro adjustments that still need to be made. But as far as the actual statue goes, it's all triple S PAL damage right now. I'll eventually try to re-roll for you know, some different combinations, like maybe try full attack and see what global attack might work out better. I don't know. But in any case, that's where I'm at, and that's where things are. Oh, and if you want to save some money, look at the end of this video.